right, welcome back to another exciting episode of Stardom Bed'em Fantasy Football Podcast, where gambling meets fantasy. I am your host, Brendan Shelly, kicking it with my man, Dan Ambrose. Dan, great to see you on here. It was even better seeing you in person for the first time in a long time last week. So what's going on, dude?
It was a fun week. Even got better last night after the Aces finally win the WNBA title. I cashed my 22-1 ticket, and life is good.
He won, so keep it going, Dan. Hopefully we keep that going next year, too. Big takeaways is Dan and I were meeting in person. We never recorded live. Remember, that was our goal. I apologize, but I was in town for work, and you know how that goes. Let's just get to it, man. We got a lot of props to get over. It is a Saturday morning, so I got a lot of editing to do, too, to get this done before Sunday. We'll see what we can do here. I apologize for not getting those 2 episodes out a week this week. We will have this one only. We might do a recap Sunday and then give you some bets for Monday, but otherwise it's probably going to be video shorts. So let's get into it, man. You want to just start with where's your action at? You want to recap Thursday night?
Yeah, we can recap Thursday night. So Eagles-Giants played. Eagles dominated the Giants, right? Isn't that how that went down?
Yeah, I'm going to mute him. That's what's going to happen now.
Okay.
Yeah. So... yeah, if you guys did watch that game, it was bad. And to be honest, I think the Eagles, I don't want to say they needed this, but these 4-1 was a kind of a mirage as to how we won those games. They were not dominant. The Eagles were good enough to win and beat really good teams this season, but their true colors came out the other night. You know, it was rough. Hurts got some good yardage, 283 yards in the air, but I mean, you only had to do that because we were playing from behind. We weren't able to get the ball to Saquon. It was just everything that could have went wrong in that game went wrong. The true offensive line of this season was coming out. We talked about this early on with a lot of injuries and replacements on that line. They have not looked good. So Eagles, you broke my heart, Fredo. You broke
and
then
Hurts hitting Smith on that 70-yard touchdown pass was great, right? 70-yard touchdown completion to Smith, because he was wide open and no way he could have overthrown him by 15 yards.
That was crazy. Dan and I were watching the game live. I bet an in-game wager, which I tell you guys, try not to do, but I felt the cards were going my way. And
the
script called for a big play to Devontae Smith. Guess what? What was it? Honestly, you were next to me. 4 plays later, big play to Devontae Smith. Nothing happened. So yeah, my bet's lost nonetheless. So I had a couple bets in there. They lost with Devontae Smith. Otherwise, pretty decent game. I only lost, what did I lose, 0.2 units or something like that? Yeah, so not a horrible game for us, only because of my in-game wagering, we were losers. If I just stuck with my pregame bets, we would have won 7 or 8 units. I mean, it was a nice game for us, but I just got really carried away chasing my Eagles in-game, chasing my Devontae Smith bets. Don't chase, folks. That's the bottom line. Do not chase, even if it's your favorite team and it breaks your heart and you're betting with your heart like an idiot. Don't do it.
Learn from Brendan's mistakes. Do not repeat his.
Yes. And that was due to love. You know, love makes you do funny things. Isn't that one of those Jennifer Lopez movies or some shit? Like, it does. I love my Eagles. I love that team. I thought higher of them, even though everybody in the world saw that they were just getting their ass beat. So I tried to see the positivity, and I lost money in this. So, God damn it. That's what happens, Dan. But we got more games this weekend, more opportunities to make money. And there's some big updates, too. A couple of our bets have touched on that. So why don't we get into it first, Dan? Your Cincinnati Bengals, who you had going to the Super Bowl, I believe, in the beginning of the year. Do they have a chance now? They've made a big move. Tell us about this move, Dan.
Do they have a chance? They sure do not. Picking up Joe Flacco is not the answer that Cincinnati needed. I assume Jake Browning will be back within a couple of weeks, but not sure what the thought process is here.
Burrow's coming back in a couple of weeks.
I'm talking about Browning will be back in a couple of weeks.
I knew. All right, just confirming.
So Flacco is not the answer, and it'll be worse than it was with Browning.
I have hopes of a 2023 Browns Flacco showing up. That is my goal here. Maybe he can come out and just ball. You basically gave an old man keys to a Ferrari and said, here, man, pop in the ignition, see if you can make this thing run. And I think he has the experience to really get some value out of these players. From a fantasy standpoint, this is fantastic. Even from a prop standpoint, all these bets now that we were always worried to bet on, like T. Higgins, you're worried to bet on Mike Gesicki's, these players outside of Jamar Chase that are not going to get those receptions, they're probably going to get them now. Flacco can sling it, man. He really can. He won't be accurate. He might throw a few picks in the process. And you're probably going to lose some games, but he's going to get some fantasy relevant players there, which I'm excited about. He's going to do what Browning couldn't do.
I do think that it is interesting that the line hasn't really moved a lot since it either. It's 14.5, I think, or 14 now. I do think that's a lot of points for the Bengals to have. So if I were to bet it, I didn't bet this game, I would probably lean Bengals plus 14.
Obviously, he doesn't know the offense. This is going to be a very vanilla offense out there this game. A lot of run plays, probably a lot of Chase Brown getting the momentum going, but he can't run the ball this season. He has not been efficient. So what will happen is negative game script. Flacco's going to have to sling it. And I like it. Sunday afternoon at 4:25, the Bengals and Packers. Dan says he leaned towards the Bengals at this point. It's just a lot of points, but he's staying away from it. Personally, my bets in that game, what do I have, Dan, before I bring out my phone and have to stare at it awkwardly?
So you just went ham on Joe Flacco. So
I did.
Looks like you went over 210.5 yards passing. And you think that he's going to run all over them and get over half a yard.
That's correct. This is my pick of the week. I bet a whopping 1 unit on this bet. I really like this. Flacco over a half yard rushing. All this means, folks, obviously he's not going to be kneeling at the end of the game. He's not going to be losing yards on that. But you've seen this come from guys like Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. And these guys that come into an offense they don't really know. They're old. They're just trying to make things work. Flacco's, this is it for him. So I can see him rolling out of the pocket. Micah Parsons chasing him. Micah Parsons is going to catch him, but all he needs is 1 yard. He can get that 1 yard before Parsons gets him. So I love this bet. I think Flacco gets probably 4 or 5 yards on the ground on one run early in the game, too, to kind of establish that, hey, don't let me sit in here. You better put a spy on me, which they won't do. But Flacco's going to go for that. So 4 or 5 yards on the ground for him. Over a half yard is my lock of the week. I also got aggressive because negative game script, they're going to be throwing the ball. I'm almost positive that. Green Bay Packers, they're going to try to show up and do a lot better. They had a bye week last week. Yeah, so the Packers had 2 rough weeks. They're coming back to this game. I can see them clicking again like they did for those first 2 weeks and pretty much just destroying Bengals. Flacco's going to have to respond, and he's going to have to dish the ball out. So I'm excited to see that. Over 210.5 passing yards is the bet. We need Flacco to throw for 211 yards. Playing from behind, I can see that happening. It's also at minus 115. I still like the juice. So it's definitely worth that bet. What do you think about Flacco? You don't like these at all, right?
No. So you might get your half yard one. I mean, I could maybe see that. If Flacco's going to do something, I don't think it's going to be the first week. It's okay. Not a lot of time, right? So maybe we look into it next week or the week after, whenever. I don't know when their bye is, but maybe it gets better as we go.
One of the bets I like more, and I could not find like an alternative line for touchdown passes, but Flacco right now is at a half touchdown at minus 185, I think, on the game, over a half touchdown. So all he got to throw is 1 touchdown. I was trying to find 1.5 because I can see him throwing 2 touchdowns this game. If that's plus money, if you have that on your apps, please bet that. I like that bet a lot. I was not able to find it on mine. So if you can find that, cool. Message me. I will follow you. That's a great bet. So that's basically my bets for that game. We don't have anything else. I don't have any Green Bay bets, and we can move on from that one. So who's your next game you want to get into, Dan?
So let's get into the other injury-riddled game, which should have been pretty good, but we'll see what happens now. 49ers versus Bucks. Purdy and Ricky are out for 49ers, and then for Tampa, Evans, Godwin, and Bucky Irving all out.
Yep. And so far, and there's 2 guys in this game that I like a lot, and both are kind of obscure. One's Demarcus Robinson, played for the Rams a couple years back. He's been stepping up in the Niners system this year because of injuries. I can see Demarcus Robinson getting at least 3 catches this game. I could not find any action on him. The books out here, at least, did not have any bets for any wide receivers on San Francisco, which also makes me believe that Jawan's probably not going to play or is listed as injury. But I like Demarcus Robinson this game, and I like Tez Johnson. He's the other obscure name, and that's the Buccaneers' third-string wide receiver at this point. He might be the fourth-string because they have McMillan there too, but he got hurt. So Tez Johnson stepped up last week. He got targeted 4 times, 4 catches, another rookie. So we're going to have Emeka Ibuka and Tez Johnson as the 2 starting wide receivers in Tampa Bay. And they got a guy named Baker Mayfield that likes to throw the ball. So Tez Johnson is my bet over 2.5 catches. That's at minus 140. I still like the action, only because I think he's going to be targeted at least 6 times this game.
I actually bet on this game. I took the 49ers in this one. I saw Mac Jones is also questionable, but I assume he's playing because I haven't heard that he's not. I didn't mind what the 49ers looked like against the Rams, and then they've had the extra time off as well since they played on that Thursday night. So I'm going to take the 49ers in this one.
Okay, I dig it. I don't hate that at all, especially the way Mac Jones has been playing. They're playing decent with the cards they've been dealt. So why not keep that going? The Buccaneers are a hard team to beat, so that's going to be a fun game. More fun than people probably anticipate. They probably expect the Bucs to run over them, but we'll see. Who you got next, man? What's the next game?
We'll move to the for the Cardi B fans that tune in. We'll move to the Patriots versus Saints game. The Patriots are minus 3.5 point favorites here. Just beat the Bills. Huge win there for them. Having to go to New Orleans and play the Saints. Saints just won too, right? They just beat the Giants. I took the Saints in this one at plus 3.5. I think there's going to be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Patriots, and not 100% sold that the Patriots have everything figured out just because they beat the Bills. I feel like the Bills beat themselves more than the other way around.
I'm with you on that one. We got to watch that game together. My sportsbook app had not transferred to Nevada. I had to do all that and go to the cage and figure that out. So you're
to where?
Yeah, oh, there it is again. So how do you say the word, Dan?
It's Nevada.
There it is. So my books were not eligible to place bets in that state that Dan just mentioned. Needless to say, I dropped the ball miserably for our fans here. I love revenge games. I love personal vendetta games. And last week, the Bills-Patriots was that game. That was the first time Diggs had played his former team. Dan and I realized that minutes before the game, we frantically tried to make a bet on Diggs, like multiple bets, actually. We like 2 different bets in that game. And they didn't go through in time. And Diggs got like the first 3 catches of the game while it was trying to process the action that we were trying to play. So missed out on that one. I truly apologize. Usually I'm on the ball with that. I think just going away for work. I didn't realize everything on paper. So that was a lock. And we're going to try to chase that this week. Diggs is playing hot. Drake May's finally looking his way and really leaning on him. So I like Diggs over 5.5 catches at plus 120. I just think that he's going to be the guy that he's going to pepper. We thought early on in the year it was going to be Hunter Henry again, like he was last year, but it sure looks like Drake May now has a new guy, and it's going to be Stephon Diggs. Excited to see if Diggs can keep this ball going, but we bet a little bet on it. Not a big one, but it's at plus 120, so we like that value. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there will be I think that the game's going to be a track meet. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this for some reason. And it just seems like any game that Rattlers in just tends to go a little bit crazy. So,
yeah,
I think game will be close. I think, yeah. I mean, in order for them to win, I think they need Diggs to play well. So,
and then the other guy that we're going to pretty much just stop betting on is Travion Henderson. I don't even know what to say with this. I am just disgusted that Ramondre Stevenson continues to fumble the ball. Antonio Gibson is Antonio Gibson, and they refuse to give the ball to Henderson. So I don't know what's going on there. There's got to be some weird shit going on in the locker room. Vrabel just is not. He's not handing it over. It's very confusing for me. So
he doesn't mind fumbles, chasing.
Man.
He's okay with the fumbles.
His predecessor, these guys wouldn't have seen a football field for the rest of their careers while they played for Belichick. That never would have happened. So in my mind, it just blows. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm done betting Travion Henderson until he can prove that he's actually going to be the premier back, which he deserves there. So we're done betting on him. We were chasing that every damn week. It's over. It's over. If you guys want to continue, go ahead and I can sit on the sidelines and cheer for you, but I'm done. I don't have any more monies to give or to give for Travion Henderson.
So anyways, the next game we'll look at will be the Panthers-Cowboys game. Cowboys are traveling to Carolina to play the Panthers. Cowboys at minus 3.5. I did not bet this game. It's interesting. If the Cowboys defense can get just a little bit better. They are probably going to have an okay season as long as Dak stays healthy, obviously, because I think the Cowboys' offense is really, really good.
Okay. So is it still going to be the Javonte Williams show? It seems like that's the case there, which is still cool to me. Continue to ride Javonte Williams. I did not bet any players in this game. I was tempted to go towards Tedero McMillan, anything with him, and the books have figured it out. He's the only guy he's throwing to over there. So Bryce Young continually just looking his way every play. I loved Rico Dowdle last week. By the way, we didn't even recap our bets last week. We killed it last week. We had a really good week. So if you guys followed us, good job. Hopefully you have a lot of money to play with this week. I know I do. But Rico Dowdle was pretty much our main guy last week. He was our pick of the week, and he destroyed it for us. So every bet we had on him hit. I think he still has another good week, but the odds are not good enough, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense to bet it. Like, even his receptions, we know, Dowdle likes to catch balls out of the backfield. They have him at over 2.5 catches. Sounds great. I would usually bet that if it was just regular. It's at minus 135. I don't like that enough, honestly. Even though it's low, I just don't like it enough. And his rushing yards are compensating for that as well. So we're going to sit out this game. I don't like the odds on half the guys that I want to bet.
So, in the NBA, when you throw an alley-oop to somebody and the other player just doesn't jump to dunk it, your teammate doesn't jump to dunk it. That's how this feels right now. I set you up with the Cowboys offense, and then you just forget that you have Dak Prescott completions over 22.5.
Oh my God, you're 100% right. I did do that completely. Oh my God. So yeah, we went right to the Carolina offense. So the Cowboys offense continues to play very well. All right, let's start with that. So
you got to keep all that in there. Yeah, gotta keep the alley-oop thing in there.
Yeah, you're right. This is going to be a disaster. People are going to be listening to my rant about Rico Dowdle and be like, dude, what's happening here? So we did bet one bet in this game. So we have Dak Prescott over 22.5 completions. It's at minus 125. I'm very happy with this. I still think the team runs through Dak. Like we talked about Javonte Williams, he's been running the ball well, scoring a lot of touchdowns. Very efficient, too, from a metric standpoint, from explosive runs and broken tackles. But Dak Prescott's the key here. So over 22.5 completions, in my mind, it's cake for him. I can see him getting 24, 25 easily. And even with the script where they're winning this game, which I think they do, I still think Prescott throws 25 completions. I don't see why not. He's going to be throwing the ball 38, 40 times anyway. I really feel that way. What do you think, dude? Is that too far off, or what's your thoughts on this?
No, I'm still I'm so undecided on kind of both of these teams, right? Like, I mean, I bet Carolina last week. They came back and ended up winning that game against the Dolphins, right? Both these teams are it's so hard to gauge how they are. That's why I'm staying off of it. Like, every part of me actually wants to bet the Panthers at home this week, but I think that Dallas offense is great, and if that defense shows up just a little bit, like it could be an ass kicking. I don't hate your Prescott wager though. I think there will be a lot of passing. Dallas needs that, right? That's how their offense works. So
correct.
Let's look at one more game.
It's not scary if you're not completing passes,
right? Let's look at one more game here. I know one that everyone's looking forward to, and that's the Chargers versus the Dolphins. So, game from an analytics standpoint, the Chargers are at minus 4.5. I don't have a wager on this game, but the funny thing about this is that everything I'm seeing shows that the Dolphins should be favored in this game. So if you are going to bet this game, I would highly recommend taking the Dolphins. For me, it's more about trust issues with them than it is anything. But with the Dolphins being at home, they have a pretty strong home field advantage over the last 3 years, one of the highest in the league. So that's probably why these numbers look the way they do. But I just thought it was interesting that numbers even show it that the Dolphins should be favored in this.
I mean, the numbers say it. I can see that happening. And let's go over some injuries first. Big updates with both teams here. Obviously, Tyreek Hill gone for the season. Hopefully he can walk again after that thing. Marion Hampton, our running back, he's out for at least 4 weeks. He's been placed on IR, which breaks my heart. We have a couple season bets on him. Additionally, he's made us some money in the prop world. We actually leaned into both those areas. We're going with the battle of the backups. And one of the backups on Dolphins that need to step up is our boy Nick Westbrook-Akini. He had a pretty good season last year. If you look at the statistics, he was actually rosterable and startable near the end of the year. Tennessee targeted him as the season progressed. He got a lot of touchdowns too. So this game, I can see him stepping into a good slot position and easily getting over 14.5 yards. All we need is 15 yards for Nick Westbrook-Akini. I think that's very doable. I like that bet, and I bet it. I think he steps up, has a couple good catches. Obviously, Malik Washington's going to do pretty well there, but I didn't like the metrics on him. Westbrook seems very, very doable, so I bet that. And then the other backup that we bet is on the other side of the ball. It's the Chargers' backup running back. They have two of them. We know Hassan Hawkins, and the other one's Kamini Vidal. I like Hoskins as the guy to step up here. He's been featured more during the season as a backup. Kamini Vidal has also been healthy scratch a couple games. I got Hoskins catching the ball and getting over 8.5 yards receiving. As we all know, Chargers like to do a lot of keep the running back in, have him tail out a bit and get some catch out of the backfield. We've had that happen a couple times with Marion Hampton. They're going to continue the same stuff with Hoskins, and I can see 8.5 yards happening in the first quarter. I like that bet a lot, actually. What do you think, man?
I just found out who Hassan Hoskins is. So there we go.
There you go. Well, you're going to know his name after this weekend because between him and Vidal, they're going to be splitting a lot of carries. If I had to put my eggs in a basket, it'd be Haskins as their now defunct starting running back. He's going to have to step up. Vidal had a lot of hype coming out of college. People thought he'd be stepping into that number 2 role. He never really achieved that. Curious to see how this works out, but I think Hoskins the bet here. And we bet, what do we bet? Decent wager, not a big one. Actually, Westbrook-Akini and Haskins are the same amount of wager, basically. Do I have any other bets? I don't. As the day goes on, I'll be sprinkling them around and probably posting on X. I am sorry for the quick rapid fire. I just got home, like I said, so I'm going to be spending time with my family so they know who I am. You got anything else you want to go over here? Any major
not really.
injuries, any updates?
I guess for the
week?
Monday night game, there's 2 Monday night games this week, right? So I, on that game, took both underdogs. So I'm on the Falcons at +4. I think it's at 4.5 now. And then I also took the Bears at +4.5.
Okay, right on. Yeah. Sunday goes on, and I will post them on X. So follow us. I'm at bshells13. Dan's at Ambrose04. Make sure you guys hop on, follow us, and you're able to see these bets in real time. Also follow us on Pickett. The app Pickett. I'm bshells13 on there as well, so you can follow us there. Yeah, hit and run here. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate the listen, and we'll get this out soon. Message us if you find some of these props I'm looking for. You'll get them.
Different magnetic. Yo, my rhymes vaulted, here my memory banks that never be released. Box cut inside the apple, you're in for a treat. Paper cuts in a vicious way, running back, dead, give away the hand.